This time we're actually going to record. We spent an hour
I hear the
talking and
record.
nothing came out.
Did you guys hear that say recording in process?
Yes, this time we
Okay,
did.
so I'm not crazy. I see a little red light. I mean, we've got it this
I
time.
should have noticed that like I didn't hear it. I thought I didn't hear it say recording in progress and I don't see that, but it didn't
Yeah,
click.
It didn't click twice because I remember saying I'm hitting record right now. So,
I see record on my on the top of my Zoom window, so it's recording.
all
Very
right.
funny.
Hard lesson learned. Once again, my apologies, my fault. Just I thought I had it figured out doing it twice. So, but let's just jump in. And I think last time we started with you, Victor, if you want to go again. And for the record, this is Unquo Group 2, Victor Rivera up there at the top.
Yep. Okay, so the idea I want to pitch to you guys is challenge I'm taking on will be to combine adaptive workout technology, smart exercising monitoring, and AI enhanced fitness devices with indoor cycling and smart trainers. The solution works by integrating technologically advanced smart bikes. Um, right, they measure riders' output in a simulated environment with an AI-powered unit capable of scanning the rider and processing data gathered by the smart bike to input into a virtual training environment instantaneously. Right, the functionality will allow multiple AI-powered devices to synchronize, placing riders into virtual training sessions and competitions without the need to leave their home. Right, scale would be small, initially intended for the niche customers, such as a pro or semi-pro athlete. All right, so approximately less than 1,000, I would say, until we're able to push this product past the chasm, right? And then after which potentially millions of units may be demanded based off of appeal and actual usability. Um yeah, profitability would be based on partnerships with existing smart bike manufacturers and AI-powered fitness monitoring devices such as Wahoo, Garmin, Swift, and Body Park. And quickly, like, yeah, I referenced Trend Hunter and an article out of Cycling News to get the idea to pair these two technologies into one product or one use case and market stream. Um, because there's devices out there right now that are capable of videoing and monitoring and producing feedback for users that body build or work out in the gym to ensure their proper form is being maintained using AI powered uh, uh, devices. And then also like so there's smart bikes out there where individuals can train inside their house and simulate foreign environments and get output, right? So I think putting them together would allow individuals to compete with one another remotely, and that's kind of my idea or challenge that I'm looking into, uh, seeing what I can do.
Excellent. Zachary, you had some comments from the first time we did the video. Do you want to throw
Yeah,
those out? Then I can throw
yeah,
mine out.
Yeah, I think I mentioned a little bit of like just talking about kind of the technological like the sorts of things that you would want your AI model to try and do. Just I feel like I don't know if we talked about this much during the first time that we recorded, but I wanted to kind of mention was like this is supposed to be feedback for this paper, this final project. So sorts of things that I think you should probably try and focus on for this one page paper that is double spaced in 12 point font. It's not doesn't have to be really that long of an explanation. You just kind of need to just be able to kind of explain the technological side of it, like what kind of
Oh,
what exactly you want the AI to try and do, and like it's sort of the technological, like the modeling side.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would also agree with Zachary. Some of the things that I was like the first time we did it, I think our ability to tell better stories, we need to go back to that, and take the thing that we learned in course in the
Mhm.
course about storytelling. Because what we're trying to do is describe pretty advanced things, especially Zachary. Later, we'll find out. It's a very advanced idea or concept, and we need to figure out how to communicate it simply so that someone that doesn't know anything about what you're talking about, Victor, what I'm talking about, or what Zachary, what you're talking about, can get it pretty easily. So I would just recommend that we all focus on that because I think
Yeah,
we're
I think that's 40% of what the final project is that good storytelling.
Okay.
so
That's a
that
good
goes, and I'm
reminder.
saying that for me
Yeah.
too because I know that you guys, I saw the look on your face. I can't see Zachary's face, but I could definitely tell you're like, oh man, come on. So I've got some work to do, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think the last comments I made also that you dug up was the idea that you could use this in markets for people who are handicapped. And then we also talked a little bit about augmented reality,
Yeah,
where
virtual reality, augmented reality.
they might be able to get it into that you could take the terrain or the course and then be able to put that the person you're talking about in that course and then have them photographed or and scanned. And I think I mentioned last time also maybe one of the guys that fly around, losing my mind,
Um,
Alzheimer's moment here, early Alzheimer's.
Um,
They're bots that fly around.
oh, drone. A
Drones, thank
drone.
you
You
for
mentioned a
crying out
drone.
loud. Okay, so drones would be kind of cool because they can fly around and get different angles and look at your body structure and see what it's doing in real time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like that would be more of an outdoor, and I think Victor is talking more like an indoor gym type thing. But
sure, as a
yeah,
spin-off or as an
yeah.
application.
yeah.
Mhm.
But even indoor, they're making drones now that are small enough that they can be around you to do stuff like that. And I
That's
Mhm.
think,
true.
just from my perspective, you get more of a because what you talked about with the Magic 8 Ball before, I think you mentioned that before in the
Yeah.
other video. That's I'm trying to figure out like how would you get that whole scan of the whole body, whereas with those drones, they can fly around, they can get any angle,
Hmm.
they can go below you, around you, above you and give you more of a 3D representation of it. And
Yeah.
maybe because there was 3D printing where they do 3D print whole prints of people, to make miniatures of you, like little homies that you get where you put a quarter and you get them. They have that technology now. Maybe you put the cyclist in one of those and they read the 3D information from all
Yeah.
around you, like the Matrix was made or something like that. Oh no.
I
Yeah,
know,
I can see that.
I know, I don't, there, I know there, so part of my capstone class that I'm in right now, there are people other team members, other teams that are working on basically fully 3D printed drones. Everything except for maybe the control chip is fully 3D printed, and everything is made cheaply enough that military can send it out, do one thing, and it doesn't have to come back, and they can just replace it easily,
So
and
that's
that sort of things.
I like that because I'm taking a sustainability class. I know we're going to keep this shorter this time. I
Yeah.
promise. But I'm taking a sustainability class and we talk about the life cycle of the product, where if you make it cradle to cradle versus cradle to grave, the difference being cradle to grave is you're going to use it for your lifetime and you're going to throw it in the trash. Whereas cradle to cradle is you're at every aspect of it, you're figuring out, okay, I'm going to use this, but then I'm going to get it back, and then I'm going to either it's going to go to the ground and be that way, or I'm going to use it for another product.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Let's
Thank
see.
you.
What else was? Oh, I told you about Atomic Habits, James Clear. There is a cycling story in there that's going to fit because he goes down and the reason they had success and made it to the Olympics because they get 1% improvements. Like they figured out 37 times more how to be more efficient, and that led to them being one of the most prolific winners in the history of it. So I really encourage you to check that out. because I bet if you do the research, you can find different tests they were doing to help people be more efficient at
Right.
cycling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Think
Yeah.
I went second. You want to do that again, or Zachary, do you want to go, or
You you
I
can
can
talk about yours again. I mean, it's the dog poop cleaning robot right now.
go? No, we've switched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sure. Let's see. So, I was just trying to create a dog waste removal business, which is basically a commodity service. Most companies compete on price, schedule, or coupons, which makes that easy for customers to switch and hard to stand out. So it's difficult to have loyalty. People switch out for the coupons on just to save a little money. So in this class, we talked about looking for asymmetric opportunities and testing ideas with small experiments instead of big risky bets. I'm working on exactly that, a tech-driven system that makes my business more efficient on the back end and more memorable for customers on the front end. It's like the Jobber app. I'm building out an app similar with field service management software for home services like lawn care and cleaning. And the tools like that typically handle things like online booking, scheduling, route optimization, invoices, and customer communication. So my app will do the same core things, the dog waste removal, but it will let customers sign up online and pick service frequency, store a customer registry and addresses, pet details, and service history, automate reminders, invoices, and route planning so I can spend more time serving customers, not buried in admin. And then my pivot to innovation, where I want to innovate beyond standard, the Jobber style feature, is by building in a unique pet experience layer tied directly into the customer registry. And that is the AI pet portrait funnel. And I own a lifetime unlimited use license to Artistry or Artistly.ai, which is an image generator, AI image generator. So my margin cost to create AI pet art is basically my time. I'm turning that into a marketing and retention engine. And here's the funnel. If a new customer signs up in the app, then the system records their pet's name and offers an optional link to upload a photo. If they upload a photo and choose a style, then I, or eventually the app, generate 2 to 3 AI portrait previews using preset prompts and store them in their customer record. If they pick a favorite preview, then they get a free digital file as a thank you for being a customer, plus an offer to buy a physical portrait, hand painted, drawn, or printed at a discounted price. Right now, there's a kink. I have to manually take each photo, compress it under 5 MB, and then organize the files into custom registry. That means each portrait funnel costs me maybe 15 minutes of time. If I value my time at $20 an hour, which is basically what I make driving Uber, that's about $5 per customer in AI funnel cost. So the bet is this. If that $5 time cost leads to either customers staying even one extra month or a small percentage buying a portrait for say 50 to even $500 profit or more, then the upside heavily outweighs the cost. That's the asymmetric return I'm aiming for. Controlled downside, potentially large upside in lifetime value and upsell revenue. And finally, how I'll innovate versus existing tools. So Jobber and similar apps focus on operations, scheduling, routes, and payments. They don't really touch on emotional connection or creativity. My innovation is to embed a creative reward system directly into the service platform. The app doesn't just manage dog poop, it also manages pet memories. The custom registry isn't just the name and addresses, it stores pet photos, art style preferences, and past portraits. Over time, I can automate the boring parts, file compression, emailing reminders, so the system can eventually run with minimal input from me. On the fulfillment side, I can start by doing the art myself and then outsource to local artists or featured artists as volume grows. That way, the app becomes a hub. It connects dog owners, my service, AI previews, and real artists who create the physical work. Long term, my goal is to build it so I can step back to a designer role, setting prompt rules, the partnership while the app and processes execute the day to day. That's how I'm thinking about innovation, asymmetric bets, and building a system that can operate without me. And you guys, and I think somehow last time we were doing this, we stumbled onto maybe making a droid that would do that. and being able
Right,
to program
doing
it
like
to
a Roomba style robot to do the dog poop cleaning. This
yes.
is something that was brought up a little bit. I think kind of just to branch a little bit more on what I was talking about with the uh earlier with trying to link it back to the final project that we're talking about. This it's just kind of I think you did really well with doing all 1 through 5 that it mentions in like the paper rubric, like introing it, landscape, what's the situation, and then like your customer base, how you'll try and fix those problems, and then summarizing it. Um, I think you should probably be a little bit more clear on the technical, like the AI side, on like what exactly the technical, how that's going to be worked into the business idea, and how that exactly is going to be function when you're writing it down in the paper. Um, but I don't know. What do you think, Victor?
Um, yeah, looking at 1 through 5, I feel like the intro was smooth, and then you described the situation. I don't know, you described the problem that you want to address.
Should I share that
I
slide show real
I
quick,
think
or as a visual aid to that, or just kind of leave it out for now because you guys have already seen it the first
I
time we did the.
I think if I'm good without it right
Yeah,
now.
I
The
don't.
this who did you say the customer?
I
Like
think it's just
like I
anyone
think
who owns a pet, anyone
anyone
who
who
owns a
owns a
dog.
pet. Yeah, I think just maybe a little more specific, like what type of pet owner,
Okay.
Yeah, like we
or
talked,
like
I think we talked a little bit about this last time.
or
We
like
talked about
what?
like the types of dog owners who would probably
Yeah,
benefit most from your
that's right.
services, people who can't be home to watch their dogs or can't be home all the time to clean up poop or are really busy with lives.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were talking about what's the incentive for somebody to on the first part of it is just the dog poop removal. How do I
Yeah,
get those people? Um, and I think it was just we were pointing out that if your time is worth more than $25 an hour to spend with your family or to be able to go do other things or have your yard back, um, those were some of the things we brought up.
yeah, but
Mhm.
I think you did a good job in focus on the strategy and conclusion. Your strategy is you get to it quickly, and then do a good job describing it, and then summarize your goal of the project pretty well towards the end.
I
So
mean,
yeah, I wouldn't add a whole lot to the customer part, but just I think just be more specific on like who would gain from this.
I know that Zachary is more excited about it when we kind of stumbled into the what if I made a Zumba type thing to just clean up
Yeah,
the poop and then, put a deodorizer down over it and very, Jetson style. And that sounds cool. Um, Maybe it's in my wheelhouse if I get the right kind of people on board. But
Yeah.
right now, realistically, because I've started this business, I've got one customer and I'm trying to get it going here in Phoenix. I just moved here about a month and a half ago. I'm just kind of, I think this is the route that I need to go. So you guys will give some great feedback, and I want to continue on. And we'll hopefully we'll stay in touch. We had talked about, we have phone numbers now, we have emails, and we'll see where we network there. But I think I've got some good feedback from you guys. If you want to move on to Zachary, we've got about what 16 minutes left, and we've got our 30 in or our hour and 30 in, but 30 recorded.
yeah, hour and
I
30.
think we started around like 8:50-ish, right?
8:55, we'll call it. Yeah.
So we still got yeah, like we got like 6 minutes to cover. It's like 10:20 or like 10:25, so like
Just
11.
I'm wondering if the recording shows the time that we've been in here.
I didn't see a ticker on my screen, but
I think we can 10 minutes and should be more than enough time, but um, easily enough. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we've talked about this for like an hour at this point outside of the actual recording. So kind of based off because of that, I was trying and when I'm talking about my idea that it for is just to kind of just simplify it a little bit, just focus on 1 through 5. What am I trying to do? I'm going to focus on my part of that project, the electrical part of the project, um, and the more technological part of it as well is because of the electrical continuity for anodization. Um, and I've explained this a little bit to Victor and Dimitri a little bit, but anodization, I've been working with a company called APEL Extrusions, is an aluminum manufacturing anodizing plant down, look, it's in Buckeye, Arizona. Literally an hour away from Tempe campus, or 40 minutes from Tempe campus, probably. Uh, it's what they've been having us work on for a capstone project for this semester and next semester as well, is helping improve their loading and racking for when it goes through the anodizing. It goes through a bunch of different chemical reactions, bunch of acid baths and those sort of things, and that kind of limits the materials we can use, and that also is like that also limits. So we have we've split our team of 7 people into 3 groups. We have my we have the group that is focusing on the actual clamps themselves, how the electrical, and that kind of ties into my team a little bit with electrical continuity, but it's because we have to have everything aluminum on one side because everything has to have the same has to be touching in metal conducting electricity. So we have one team working on better making it more efficient clamping on one side, and then the other team is just improving the polypropylene side of it, the rack that just basically acts as a place for the aluminum extrusions to just sit so that they're not dangling um, in when they're and it holds them in place better when it's going through the on the rack. Um, and so the idea was to basically cut the sides of the polypropylene so that instead of having to feed them through the holes and to making it take a lot of extra work, uh, the uh, the extrusions can be fully side loaded onto the rack. And then the third team is my team. The electrical part of it is to basically create some sort of device that is functions both as a continuity and ohmmeter, but can also have some sort of communication capabilities and have we plan on using an ESP32 microcontroller chip um, to have some calculating in there where we can basically record the last like 410 measurements um, th that you receive of resistance levels, and then it can do basically the K the KCL, the Kirchhoff's current law calculations to see are these all going to be getting the same level of uh, anodizing, same thickness of the anodic coating on them, and they're going to be uniform. And that's the main idea for the electrical component, is because currently the way that APOS has it structured, they only do testing post anodizing. They do quality assurance testing and measure the thickness after it's done. But the idea was to make it so that they could test this prior and re uh, rework costs. And I think you guys mentioned a little bit on other ideas to for improving the racking or just basically kind of making it a little bit more automated. And I mentioned that my team members and I had also kind of considered those, but we're working kind of within the limitations of what the company has given us for the project and also uh, time and constraints. We have literally 1 week left to finish the halfway point of this project, and then we actually have to build the whole thing next semester. So
Mhm. Have you considered you can have rubber attached, can you not, without losing the conductivity that you need?
depends. Uh, depends on the material. if it can actually go into the acid wash, the etch,
So
because it's
the mindset of that is like for the straps, instead of having to have you know, a tool and die version of that to have your clamps put in, maybe it's a simple like a bungee cord or something that straps in. That's very simple.
so yeah, they do have what they do have a so what they currently have to basically help mitigate if something is comes unbolted, because how they have basically just a rope that dangles that can catch anything that falls
Mhm.
to help with that, but it's just more of a if not it's not bungee, it's just full nylon. And the I think the reason is because of like bungee, like the materials, like everything you have to worry about, like whether or not it's going to react with the acid or any other chemicals.
So that would be an interesting question
Yeah.
is there a way to, anti-acid, any kind of rubber or a different material?
Yeah.
Because I think so far a mechanical mind is going to go to mechanical things. And so you've got the clamps that you come up with, but maybe there's another product which would give you a more eloquent solution that might be
Yeah. And I think
easier
I could
cost
definitely do
effective.
more research, and my team can I can do more research. I just wanted to,
But also, you said you're on a time crunch, and maybe this is the
yeah.
decision you're going to move forward with because you've already invested the time and the time
Yeah.
you'd backtrack
Mhm.
to go figure out if that would
I
work or
mean,
not.
we may change a lot of things next semester depending on what the professor gives us. It tells us like we're actually going to have an entirely different professor for 402 than we've had for 401, so it's going to be a little bit
Hmm.
of a they're going to have to learn everything about our project and have no idea what we're doing until like 3 weeks in. So we're gonna
Do you have labor costs for if you use a human, if you don't use a human, what through each phase of it, do you have
yeah,
the cost?
we've been trying to work with the partner, getting cost analysis. We actually have we're doing our actual presentation, final presentation with them next week, um, on site. And so we're planning on getting more questions answered because we're on site. Uh, it'll be a little bit easier to ask a lot of those questions.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Currently the post anodization QC is that done by a person to
yeah,
measure? Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
They have just a little meter that it literally just tells them the thickness in like micrometers.
So pre-check, so it'll
And
save
they
money and ensure that they get it right
yeah,
more often because they won't have to pay for someone to do it post.
yeah. I mean, they probably will still
Okay.
have to do post check, but not as thorough. They'll maybe have to check one in the batch rather than
Uh,
the entire batch.
Oh, question for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you take an image of a different spectrum of different? There's different filters you can put on, like uh, what's the red, infrared. There's is there a way that you can measure it that way by looking at it visually? Like you train the camera to look at it visually instead of having to have equipment hooked up. You just have a camera that looks at it, can read the heat signature or the some to read it that way.
Hmm. Potentially. I think the easiest is the electrical continuity testing and the math because I mean that's not going to change, right? And visual can always be a little bit hard, especially with AI, to just kind of exact gauges, and you have to get all of the different angles. But it's an idea, and I think
Mhm.
that's what this whole thing is. We're just supposed to be talking about ideas, and I know I can bring up a lot of these different ideas that you guys had with my team, but a lot of it is like, yeah, and
Yeah,
I think the
I
whole idea
respect that.
was,
I'm not in the field, so
yeah,
I could be
and I know
totally.
I think this is mostly just. I kind of just picked this because this is something I was already doing and something easy. And I think that's kind of what you are doing to me, the same with Dimitri, with your business that you've already started. And that's why you decided to talk about that for the final project, right?
Well, for me, school is. the purpose of school is to learn how to communicate better and do things like this and create network and then to make some money with it. I'm not here to,
Mm.
just on dad's dime to just mess around and have a social life. I'm here
Yeah,
to get some knowledge and move on. And I think I had said before, that was lacking because I'm just on a gen ed treadmill. This is all
yeah,
stuff. A lot of so far my career at here has been reviewing stuff I learned in high school or took, at other colleges. So
yeah,
moving forward, I'd like to
yeah.
figure out a way to turn that into money.
I think that's good. And I'm
Yep.
I'm looking forward to my internship for this summer with Benchmark to be able to just expand my knowledge, expand my capabilities as an engineer. And I think that will go forward even in the future to be able to even create some future business idea.
Absolutely. Let me see. Um, I had it as we started like 55. So we got like,
So yeah, it's been 30 minutes exactly, basically.
Mm, yeah, I don't have much else. I mean, I appreciate the feedback. It's definitely real it's really interesting to bounce these ideas off one another and hear your ideas and how you guys think through the process. Definitely
Mhm.
helps.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks, guys. Do you guys have any feedback about how I might better tell the story or
I would say you definitely for me, I want to like actually solve the problem sometimes when I'm listening to
yeah,
somebody talk about a problem and I don't
yeah,
feel like I have the scope of it. Like I can't see the limitations that you have. I would want to see your restraints. I would want to,
yeah,
start seeing like what tools you use to measure and kind of be a part of the take me through being a part of this group and how you got your three teams. How are you
mhm,
communicating with the team? How are you keeping them on schedule? How are you doing regular, back and forth to make sure that all that's working together?
yeah. Thanks. That's good.
Yup, yup.
All
All
right.
right. If you
Thanks
guys
for
are,
jumping on this to get this credit.
man,
Yeah,
I thought I had it figured out.
yeah,
It was so frustrating because we had a good session. We had over an hour's
yeah.
worth of material, and I hope we are able to remember some of the cool things that we had the first session. But I think we did a good job of jumping back
yeah.
into it. And kudos to you for being resilient. I know, Victor, you're in a different time zone, way past your bedtime probably. And Zachary, kudos to you to jumping on with family obligations so we get this knocked out finished. And with that,
Yeah.
I'm going to um, go to the recording. We're going to hit stop recording, and I'm going to say thank you very much, guys. Again,
Thanks.
Zachary, I don't know if you said your name at the beginning, but clearly, if anybody's watching this, they would see that you're there and your green light is lighting up all the time. So,
Thank you.
all right, guys,
All
appreciate you.
right.
All
Yeah,
right, take
thank you.
care. Good
All right,
semester
bye.
for you guys. Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep.